We all know that if we're going to hit our goals, accomplish amazing things on the planet, help our families, help others to get there as well, we got to have an ounce of fearlessness in us, if not a whole heck of a lot, to go against the resistance that comes from being comfortable and doing things differently. What if I told you that fear has nothing to do with other people or the circumstance? It has to do with our propensity to not want to feel anything. Think about it. We're all gonna die. When it's time to go, you're not really fearing that. You're fearing how it's going to feel to actually pass on. Am I gonna have a heart attack? Am I gonna fall down the stairs, hit by a bus? When it's time, ladies, having a baby, you're not scared of having children. You're scared of how it's gonna feel to have that child. Push that sucker out. Let's be real. We don't want to feel anything, and that's where fear comes from, because we classify it as a negative feeling, and it's not. It's a feeling just like joy, just like appreciation, just like sadness. And until we start to hone in on our feelings, they'll continue to stop us. Welcome to the month of fearlessness. We live in a universe that is teaching us through duality. And what that means is you know what you want simply by knowing what you don't want. You know that type of man or that woman that you want to be in a relationship with by having that really shitty relationship. Let's tell the truth about that, right? And so it's constantly teaching us through all of our interactions and our choices and our decisions where we're supposed to be, just simply by listening to our emotions. The problem is that we've been taught since children, don't listen to your emotions. You fall down or you get burnt or you get hit by another kid and your parents tell you it's not a big deal, brush it off. We grow up into these adults that, that are glorified for not feeling, right? But you can even see in the news that the people that have the most money and the people that are doing really well, they end up sometimes in rehab or committing suicide. Like, there's something not right about that. And when it comes to your emotions, we base certain emotions as good and certain emotions as bad, especially fear. If you feel fear, you feel you are weak, right? But fear is actually one of those very important ones that teach you who you are and who you aren't. We intuitively know that fearing has a direct correlation with protecting ourselves, right? If I feel fearful, it's because I need some sort of something scary and around me. But if we don't admit that to ourselves and we don't listen to it, we have no practice in being aware of that, then we can allow all kinds of things into our space, and now we got a big reason to be afraid. If you can feel fear or you feel it coming up in you and you don't allow yourself to fully go through with feeling it, you just stuff it down all the time, you're increasing the probability of more things harming you because it's within your vibration. You're attracting more of it because you're not releasing it. You could totally be in a wonderful, safe relationship, but have all this fear from the past that is not dealt with, bring it to the new relationship, and because you're so fearful, you don't build trust. And then the relationship ends anyway because you just have not dealt with it. It's a fear of feeling. Oh God, I'm falling in love and this is scary. I don't want to feel this. What if I get hurt, right? That fear of actually going through with the feeling of it. The second would be fear of conflict. And the third one would be fear of loss of some sort. So when it comes to fear of conflict, in relationships, Conflict is inevitable. Something's gonna happen, disagreements are gonna happen, you know. But the thing is, in relationships, our most important task is to create repair. That's all relationships are about. Because it's gonna happen. You're gonna have some sort of conflict. But when you're not willing to feel your fear in relationships, it just means that you have this fear of repair. You may not have a lot of practice at it. And so it is a little scary. You don't feel like people are able to bounce back from something that you feel like was a big deal, you know? But the thing is, by not allowing yourself to feel it, communicate, and try to create this sort of repair, what you're telling people is that we can only be friends in the good times. You know, if you're fearing conflict, then, I mean, you can't really have that authentic relationship. And love isn't possible because you can't be authentic. You know, in general, you misrepresent yourself when you're not allowing the conflict resolution to sort of happen, because you're basically, you know, taking it personally and basically saying that your feelings don't matter. And, you know, I'm not willing to step into the feeling of this with you. I'm fearing that we cannot repair this, so we can only be friends in the good times. And then last but not least, the fear of loss. How many times have you wanted to possibly leave your job, start a new business, but it was fear of losing the 401k, the health benefits? You know, last month, in the month of newness, we talked all about, you know, how change typically means a break in the bonding between people, whether it be, you know, if I do something new, am I going to relate to my best friend anymore? And fear of loss will stop us in our tracks every single time. You know, loss of freedom, and oh, you know, if I quit, you know, my job, let's just going back to that example, am I going to be able to have the freedom or not? I might have to grind and work all day long. No, I'm gonna stay in my cushy job just to make sure that I can, you know, kick it on the weekends. You know, we create all these stories, right? And so fear of feeling, fear of conflict, and fear of loss stop us in our tracks from being fearless. So to sum all of this up, we have got to stop associating fear with weakness. What's weak is not allowing ourselves to be the human beings that we were put here to be. We were put here to feel. And fear is one of those feelings. It's the strong person that actually allows themselves to feel it, to listen to what it has to tell us. It's a teacher. What is it that you're afraid of? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, feel through that. Let's go all the way. This is a really good exercise. I do this a lot. Let's go all the way to the end of the worst possible situation, and let's feel that. What does that feel like? Can I withstand that? That takes an incredible amount of strength. It's not until we start to incorporate all of our emotions into this one mind, body, and soul being that we were here to be, that we can move into fearlessness. You know, the way that we get rid of fear is to allow it in and stop rejecting it. I don't know anything more fearful than being scared and not allowing that the heat, the emanation from the fear to be felt, but not actually let it pass on. When you get good at repairing relationships, when you get good at allowing yourself to feel, when you get really good at recognizing that things are put in our possession, in our experience, just for a little while before it passes on, so that we don't label it loss, we just label it appreciation for that time that we had with it, we can be fearless. So feel more. Move back into alignment. Don't let it stop you. And level up. Don't be weak and push it down. Let's move through. Thank you guys. Have a great week.